say about the young?
What's up, guys? We're back to talk about
What's up?
we're about to talk about local politics. I don't know if you guys know, but the comptroller who's been running is been getting into some I'm just kidding. We're here to talk about Star Wars, guys. Obviously, this is a Star Wars show.
You got me. You
I'm
had
joined
me.
by Adam.
Yeah, I was like, why are we talking about this?
I'm joined by my buddies Adam and Chris. What's up, guys? Welcome back, and thanks for joining me as always.
Welcome back.
The last time we talked about episode 1 of Obi Wan. Is it? I was thinking about the title the other day. Is it just Star Wars Obi Wan? That's it, right? There's no other part to the title.
Obi Wan Kenobi.
Okay, they added his last name.
Star Wars Ob.
Obi.
Obi. Hey.
So today we're going to talk about a little bit of episode 2, not much of it because we did talk about it a bit towards the end of last episode. But we're going to talk mostly about episode 3, which was my favorite so far. Maybe my favorite so far. I really liked it. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I took a lot of notes. So,
well, we already had this conversation, but somebody didn't show up.
Well, it was really weird.
We kept saying, "Oh, we could talk about it later," but they kept saying points. We're gonna talk about it, but
yeah. And what if we could, like, we could all do like our initial. We can go through it and do our initial. Because I don't know about you guys, but if you've seen it like another time,
my initials are AJM.
At least if you've let it stew. But our initial opinion, of each.
Yours are CBC.
I have the same initials as Chuck E. Cheese, yeah, for sure. So I think we should do that. So, Chris,
and
what's your initial?
But it's been stewing as well, though. So it's been like my initial opinion. It's not.
I'm interested to see if it got better when it's stewed. Interesting. Did it go up or down?
It stayed the same rating wise for sure, but I mean, I say maybe. Well, all right.
Say it.
Just say it, though.
I maybe don't like everything that they did, but I like, I understand it a little bit more. But at the same time, I don't think I'm really gonna understand it until all the episodes are through, and see if that's really the case or if that was just, I don't know, because I got a little bit of mixed feelings about it. But I did really like it, and it's definitely my favorite, just in general. It's my favorite one.
I think
out of the 3.
Adam, what do you think?
It's my least favorite of the 3.
Okay.
I
knew that
but
was coming for some reason.
Chris and I actually had similar gut reactions when we talked about it the other day off camera.
Hey guys,
where
do you
we
want
had
to try
the
to guess how
same-
many times Adam's going to mention that I didn't show up for the first conversation?
No. I'm just saying we talked about it off camera, and we had a similar gut reaction that I was actually surprised by, because I feel like everyone else I've talked to that has watched it has liked it a lot. And so for Chris and I to both dislike the same aspect of it, I thought was kind of interesting, because it was really good. It's still really good. But the parts that I don't like I kind of don't like a lot, I think. So we'll see. But the parts that were awesome were really awesome. So I still like the show a lot. It was still like an 8 out of 10 episode. It's just out of the 3 so far, it was the one that I disliked or liked the least.
Okay. Why? Yeah. What part was it that you didn't like about the episode?
What did you think? Well, you said
I didn't say my initial.
That was your favorite episode so far.
I thought it was great. I mean, but you
Might
guys
have
know
lost
me.
you guys. Can you hear me?
Anything?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you for sure. Can you guys hear me? We're good. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right. Yeah, I loved it, but you guys know that anything with Vader in it, and I'm sold. Like, you don't have to do much for me to be sold on it. It's like my boy. So, I thought it was great. I loved the interaction between Obi Wan and Leia on the like tram thing. Um, I thought that was great. I thought the lightsaber duel that we got was awesome. I mean, it was what I expected. It was what I expected at this point for both of them. Um, I thought, yeah, I thought it was great. But I don't know if it was my favorite so far out of the three, only because um, I really liked the first episode. Just like that,
Hmm.
I don't know, jumping right into that atmosphere and the feel that we got off that first. I don't know. I just really liked that first episode. I thought it was great. Seeing Bale and all that was awesome. So, but I mean, obviously, like I said, Vader, he's my boy. So you put him in anything, and I'm gonna pretty much love it. So, but yeah, why did you not? What were your issues with it?
I think that the stuff with Vader. So I like that Vader was awesome in the town. He was really cool in the town. It reminded me of comics Vader, where he just like
Mm-hmm.
decimates everybody, which is cool because the movies haven't really shown that except for like a really small clip at the end of Rogue One. So I really liked that Vader was pretty ruthless in the town. But then during the duel, first of all, it seemed like and Chris and I were kind of joking about it, but it's also true. It seemed like they blew the budget during the episode and then just didn't have a set for the last fight. It would be like if you and I went out into like a quarry with our lightsabers and set up a camera on a tripod. And
Yeah.
he's just
Could have
like
been a
jogging between
little
piles
bit
of
more
gravel.
interesting,
So
you know.
yeah, so
But,
for all the richness that Star Wars environments can give you, that was a pretty uh, boring one to me. And then the flames part was awesome, and then she blows up the thing, and there's fire everywhere, and Vader just kind of stands there. And it reminded me of Halloween. It reminded me of Michael Myers. He just like stands there with the flames reflected off his helmet, which was a cool look, but also like he immediately didn't do anything. And the Vader that we know is like crazy bloodthirsty for
This
Obi
isn't the
Wan,
Vader that we
specifically for Obi
know.
Wan.
This is a whole different Vader. This is a whole different guy. I was like, because that was the part I was wondering. I was like, this is the part he's gonna say is
Yeah,
weird.
but the his only is
Right.
hatred, and so like he kind of stood there and just let him
Right.
get away when he could have jumped over the flames. He could have pulled him through the flames. He could have, said, "Let me do anything in my power," which is
Mm-hmm.
substantial. But he let him get away just to prolong the chase, I guess, which didn't seem natural to me. It really rubbed me the wrong way the first time I watched it. And then I watched it the second time, and it didn't rub me as badly, but it was still kind of like, I don't know why he
Mm-hmm.
did that. Um, I'm also just a little tiny bit over Leia's involvement. I kind of, before the show came out, I was like, oh, cool. I have a vague understanding of what the show's going to be, and I really like that the first two episodes totally threw that
Mm-hmm.
away and brought Leia in when I didn't even anticipate that. It was kind of cool for it to be so
Mm-hmm.
surprising. But now we're 3 episodes through a 6 episode show, so if she's not going to be the main storyline of the show, she's certainly going to be a big chunk of it. And I kind of, I'm a little bit over that. I don't know how they're going to get her. She's in presumably a stronghold. So I think maybe they're going to get, Quinlan Voss
Yeah.
or
Oh my
a
God!
different
A
Jedi Master
live
we can
action
talk about.
Quinlan Voss. It's gonna be amazing.
But I am I'm a little bit not into the Leia of it all.
Yeah.
So I was ready for her to get away at the end and for that to be over, and then Obi Wan to be a
Mm-hmm.
little bit screwed. But instead, she got captured, and it's kind of just like we just have to do episode 3 over
Right.
again, or episode 2 over again,
So
rather. I did really like when the stormtrooper got sliced
that
by
was
the laser
cool.
gate. That was
That
crazy.
was cool.
And then I really didn't like how they had to take down the lasers when then the camera zooms out, and they could have just gone around the lasers.
There was another moment
But
like that I
yeah, no,
thought about
just minor gripes.
when they first when they walk into the like the lair of the Inquisitors, and there's that like red gate there,
I might have lost you.
and oh, can you guys Can you guys hear me? Sorry.
I lost you for after the word lair, and then I heard red gate.
Oh, okay. Where the red gate is, as they walk, like as she
Mhm.
walks in, there's room to walk like around it. So I was like,
Yeah,
why'd they put that there? That was like my first. It was
yeah,
like the same kind of thing where I was like, that seems like an odd set design choice, but I don't know. That's
yeah.
not my job.
Pretty weird.
Yeah, but
But yeah, I do really like it. I don't want to
Nice
get it
job.
twisted. It's just like if you're asking for my gripes, those are my gripes.
yeah, I
Um, the Vader part I just didn't really grasp, and the rest of it, it made me excited for when Obi Wan does finally get his mojo back. It makes me, whether it's through contacting Qui-Gon or some other connection to the Force, really just find
yeah.
himself again. I'm excited for that. But yeah, those are
Chris,
my
was there anything that
sticking
you
They
didn't
points.
all
love
happen at the
about it?
same time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Only 3 episodes
Yeah.
left. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I was saying,
What were you
is
gonna say, Chad?
Chris? Is there anything that you like didn't really love about it? Because I know you said, was it this kind of the same stuff Adam was saying?
yeah, I mean, mostly like very similar. Just like a couple like weird choices that, like as when initially watched it, like were kind of awesome plot devices almost, but like logically don't
Hmm.
really make sense. But I mean, like some of it doesn't really matter too much because it's like, okay, the Empire's everywhere, but they're also running every mining op charge of
Right.
everything all of a sudden everywhere after 10 years.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, in the entire universe. But,
Hmm.
so they're there, and like even Obi-Wan's surprised. He's like, "Oh, they're here." It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, they're
what?
here too.
So
Jesus, like,
you guys know that
but
as
that's like just one thing.
an Empire enthusiast, I have answers for all of these things, and so Adam, to your point, you were saying Vader, like, it seems like he would. I think he let him get away because at this point, this reminds me more of the Vader from um, the book Star Wars, uh, Rise of the Dark Lord, or I think it's what's the name of the book? The Dark Lord, The Rise of Vader is the name of it. Dark Lord, Rise of Vader. Um, and this is like right after he like got turned into Vader, or however you want to see it. But and this kind of reminds me more of that Vader who like plays with his food a bit more. Whereas like the Vader we know now is like I don't have time for that. Like I'm just like is much more exacting. But I feel like this fresh Vader, this like guy who's like hasn't had time to sit in his anger as long as the Vader we know has. Whereas the Vader we know has had over like 30 years to really stew and be annoyed. Whereas this his anger is still very fresh. So I feel like he wants Obi Wan to get away because he wants to be like, now you need to sit with the fact for a while
I'm
that
into
like,
like post Order 66 Vader.
okay,
Thing after Order 66 is like hunt all the Jedi. You know what I
right,
mean? And I mean Obi-Wan's obviously like top of that list. Obi-Wan or Yoda would be. So
right. I wonder.
that's really what I meant. It was really just that his whole motivation in the comics and books after Revenge of the Sith is every Jedi needs to die. They're the reason
Mm,
all this
But it's
anger and
Obi-Wan,
hatred.
right?
mm,
Right.
The last time he fought Obi-Wan, he lost like
Yeah. Oh
everything.
yeah. Yeah. I
so,
could
so it's
understand
like
if he was
maybe,
kind of
but at the same time,
scared or
right.
timid. But he wrecked
right?
him in the beginning, and he wasn't scared of
Yeah,
Right.
Obi-Wan. He was scared of the fire and the
Right.
chick. You know what I mean? Like Obi-Wan, he
yeah, you're right. He was
he
force choking him,
destroyed
and
Right.
Obi-Wan.
right, yeah, all
Yeah.
that.
So like Obi-Wan was done. Obi-Wan was toast. So that part of it, like if they had dueled and they both had kind of PTSD kicking in, that's
Right.
one
Right.
thing.
Right.
But I really think that he was on the ropes and he was ready to take him away. And then the girl threw a wrench in the works. And I really think the Vader of every media we know, whether it's book, comics, movies, whatever, would have said, "Are you kidding me?" and destroyed her. And even if Obi-Wan had like crawled away with the droid and that lady just got wrecked, I would have been like, okay, she threw a distraction in there and Obi-Wan got away. But instead, Vader was like, "Oh no, let me stand here."
They both seemed kind of
it was kind of weird. That part of it was kind of weird to me. But again, not like it's bad or anything. That was just the one part where I was like, I had to suspend my disbelief. I had to make that conscious decision, which normally in Star Wars I don't have to do.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we won't really know until it's all over if it was if it was
worth it, right?
A huge mistake in writing, or if it was like super duper on purpose,
right?
Which it's not like this show has been like 100% incredible, but it's been pretty close. It's up there with It's up there with Mandalorian, and I don't know.
And I do have to remind myself that it's a show, and not a movie.
And not a movie.
So it has time to make mistakes.
It's
and
really
at least
good.
they're not spending, 3 episodes world building a bacta tank dream like you said the other day, Chris. Like it's not. It's not like it's not wasting time, which I appreciate about it. But it's also, the anticipation for a show like Obi-Wan so huge, and the anticipation for the first fight between Vader and Obi-Wan was so huge for me that, and I'm not mad at the lightsaber duel. I'm glad that they weren't like 100% on their game, but he had him. He had him.
I agree. Obi-Wan's definitely.
And I don't think Vader would have been like, "Oh, I had him. Now you can have him back." That would happen.
I mean, I guess the annoying thing is.
But what if he did it
just
to be able to do it again?
Yeah, but even that's not the vibe I got.
I guess the annoying thing is that we know that Obi-Wan lives.
It's not like he was like, "Okay, until you die."
That's not what it was like. It was really like, "Oh shit, there's fire in front of me now. I guess I'll stop."
Like
it was kind of.
He was kind of on a rampage.
They were both kind of stuck.
Yeah.
In their own heads for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, like that they were pausing and that they hesitated, but it was more than a split second, and it was also after he had already been fully adrenaline rampage mode. So like it wasn't like they stood there staring at each other with lightsabers drawn and then tried to figure out how to attack.
He was dragging him through fire.
Him. He destroyed him.
he was done. So, it was literally cooked. Literally.
Yeah. So it was kind of that part was crazy. That he had him in the flames, and my brother, I don't know if he was joking or not, but my brother said that he thought he was going to chop his legs off, which would have been crazy.
This whole time, old Obi-Wan had robot legs, and we never knew. That would have been crazy.
Yeah. We just never knew. That's
can't see the scars.
But I mean, it was kind of it was really cool. It was just that one part where I was kind of a little bit I'm not 100% into the show, thinking about the fact that I was watching it as opposed to just being lost in it. And Star Wars usually allows me to just be lost in it.
So I took a bunch of notes, and I wanted to know what you guys thought about some of this stuff. So, rapid fire. I wanted to rename this episode Waiting for Qui-Gon, because that's basically all I'm doing now, is just waiting for Qui-Gon. Right, just waiting for Qui-Gon.
I think now it would be a real disappointment if he didn't show up.
What do you think that? So I'm thinking. I don't I hate to speculate so much because I almost don't want to ruin it for myself. But I'm I was wondering at this point, because one of the other notes I had taken was what could possibly be going through Obi-Wan's head at this point, knowing that he didn't.
I lost you. What could possibly what?
You guys still got me there? I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
I heard what could possibly.
Okay, yeah. So I was wondering what Obi-Wan could be thinking at this point, having not wanting to train Anakin in the first place, really. And so, I'm wondering if he's resentful towards Qui-Gon, if he's just dude, just tell me what to do now that all this has happened, or if he's what, I don't know, because I'm thinking I'd be pissed. I'd be so mad. I'd be dude, I didn't want to do this in the first place, and now he turned out to be the biggest asshole in the world.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that. I bet. Oh, go ahead. Man, I'm using you a lot.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't think I didn't cross my mind that he'd be resentful because I think that eventually his connection to Anakin was so strong that he, you know, if he's bummed about anything, it's about Anakin, you know, just like at the end of Revenge of the Sith, I didn't feel like he was angry. I felt like he was just like kind of heartbroken.
Well, I guess I mean
So I think that he's probably,
like angry at like
but he
Qui-Gon.
legit didn't know he was alive apparently, which is crazy. Like
I mean, he
when
chopped
she
him
told him
up
he was
pretty
alive, that seems
bad.
weird to me. Like you would think he would know that there was a guy named Vader hunting down Jedi. Um, so I mean, I guess the fact that he knows he's alive now, I think he's probably feeling guilty that he didn't kill him and terrified of him and guilty for his attachment to him. You know, that's my guess. But I don't think he'd be mad at Qui-Gon. I think the reason he can't get in touch with Qui-Gon is because he's lost that part, the depth of that connection to the Force that's required to seek that type of connection. You know, the purity of your connection to the Force has to be pretty legit, I think, for you to get to that level of light side. And I think that he's just lost his faith a little bit more than resentment.
But he like wants it too much.
Yeah, for selfish reasons though,
Yeah.
not for like the good of it, but for like the fact that he's scared. You know, I don't think he wants it because he needs it to help somebody. I think he wants it because he himself is scared, which is really interesting. I think that's really cool, but I don't think it's you know, I think that at some point Obi Wan's going to become the Obi Wan that Alec Guinness is, and not the Obi Wan that Clone Wars era Obi Wan is, and that is more of a sage, kind of like Luke in, you know, the Last Jedi. It's going to be more of like a sage, hermity Obi Wan, where he's just relaxed and self assured again, and just more comfortable in his own skin and confident. I think that's his issue right now. And like I said, his mojo's gone,
Completely, totally.
And he can't find his connection to the Force because he's seeking it almost selfishly and not purely.
Yeah. So, another note that I took down.
Yeah, I mean, he's almost like.
No, go ahead, Chris.
I think we're on a delay.
No. I mean, I was just gonna say he's almost like rekindling it at the same time that he's like teaching some of it to Leia. He's like remembering it.
Remembering it for himself. That's a really good point. Yeah, I agree with that.
Which has been kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really liked his like as much as I don't love that Leia's still in the show so much. His monologue with Leia or his dialogue with Leia on the ship was so reminiscent of him talking to young Anakin, and I think it reminds him that you know you can be around a kid and love a kid without ruining the galaxy. But yeah, I really liked his connection with Leia. That was cool.
Pieces,
yeah.
Yeah. So another note that I had written down, and I just got to keep an eye on the time. But another note I had written down was when he was talking to Leia. I know that he was talking about Padme, obviously, when he was like, you know, you remind me so much of your mother and all that stuff. But me being the Carrie Fisher fan that I am, like, also went kind of to the next level and was like, oh, you know, because all these things that Leia is and Padme was are all based on Carrie Fisher. So it's like that scene actually made me really like kind of feel like it was a nod not towards just Padme, but a nod towards Carrie Fisher as well and her portrayal of the character Leia, and kind of like giving that kind of like quick nod to her. But that's probably just me like
that's interesting
reading super into it. But I just thought like, yeah, that was a kind of a sweet thing that I was thinking that was like, oh man, it's just nice because I'm like, you know, Carrie, like I said, Carrie Fisher was so much that character that they're like the same
Yeah.
person. So, but
I kind of like that she thought Obi Wan was her dad
yeah, that was
because
really
Just for a
sweet.
minute, yeah.
you can tell she doesn't actually think that, but I think it shows that she feels a connection to the Force.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, maybe someone who has the Force has to have been my dad,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird. She doesn't need to feel that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like what you said about the Carrie Fisher part too. But that didn't cross my mind until you said
Always
it.
shout outs to Carrie.
We all miss her very
Yeah,
much.
always shout. Because like I thought about that too.
That
Is
hit.
how much she would love where Star Wars is at right now, and just how involved she would be.
Yeah.
It would just be so great to see her and Mark Hamill just like having the greatest time right now. So it's a bummer. It's a huge
Yeah.
bummer.
Owning racists on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolute. But whatever. I was trying to decide if that was something we should talk about this week, and I was like, I don't even want to entertain it. Honestly, it's just
We're gonna have to talk about it, I think, only because we've already had to talk about it. I mean, maybe that's the only point we
Yeah.
have to make. But we've already had to talk about this with John
Yeah.
Boyega. We've already had to talk about this with
Yeah.
Rose. It's coming up every time something happens. And it really is kind of a bummer is the show's getting review bombed because of it. So they're on like Rotten Tomatoes, the show is the lowest rated high live action Disney Plus show, which is like that's just an insult.
Interesting.
It's really frustrating. And yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
the
it's a
only
bummer.
reason we even need to talk about it is because we have like I put up a clip on our Instagram today about us talking about like things that happen all the time in Star Wars. And it's kind of annoying that this is one of the things that also happens all the time.
This is one of those things. Yeah.
It's like it's just frustrating because it's just frustrating. And it's stupid. That's what's annoying. It's just dumb. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
There's no need for it.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
And then and it ruins it for the rest of us. Like it really kills the vibe for the rest of us.
Yeah, and I mean those fans are the ones that have the reputation of Star Wars fans. Like when you think Star Wars fan,
Yeah.
and you're not a Star Wars fan, you think of those people first.
Yeah. Which is
And
just so irritating because
it's kind of a bummer because they're not fans.
no, you're not. And it's just annoying because it's like who do you want to play these roles? Can you guys please explain to me who it is that you want to play these roles? Because at the end of the day, nothing is ever going to be good enough for anybody. It's always going to be someone's going to be annoyed and disappointed, and it's never going to be the right person who plays the. It's just like whatever. Who cares? It's a fantasy world. Remember that half these characters existed as cartoons a week ago. So, like,
right.
I don't understand what the debate is here. Like, are you mad that the Grand Inquisitor wasn't a different kind? Oh, he should have been a Twi'lek. Why wasn't he a Twi'lek? They're using these freaking aliens instead of these ones. What the like? It's Star Wars. It's a fantasy world that doesn't exist. Black people aren't even a thing in Star Wars. It's not a thing because there's no Africa. Like I don't understand. Like it doesn't make any sense at all.
Right, you're human or you're not.
Yeah, you're either human or you're not. There's no race because it's space, and there are. It's so dumb. it's like the fact that this guy has to explain to like idiots that it's a fantasy world. Like I've absorbed myself with it, and I have to explain to you it's not real. That's stupid. Like that shouldn't be what the situation is. But like I said, we won't spend too much time on that because that really actually was like I wasn't sure if we should even talk about it because I'm just like it's so. Oh, God.
I did like Ewan McGregor's video responding to it.
Yeah,
it was kind of cool.
That was amazing. I just love that. Like I don't know. I love that for the people who really love Star Wars and genuinely like grew up on it and like have ties to it that are like emotional, and it's not just this like thing that they're like, oh, it's just like it's the thing that's popular at the moment, so they're gonna talk about it again, and then when like the next big thing comes out, they'll talk about that. But it's like for us who are passing it down to our kids and have gotten it passed down to us and things like that, it's just like, I don't know. It's I feel like it's almost weird, or like I just don't get it. I don't get the hate. Like, I never understood the hate for, you know, Ahmad.
Yeah, I don't get it
Ahmad,
either. If you're not going to like
help
it,
me
you know
with
that
his
you're
name,
actively
Adam.
prepared to just hate, and just
Yeah.
don't watch it. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
why'd
you just
you
don't
go
have
and
to waste
watch
your
it,
time.
man?
Just don't
Right.
watch it.
It's weird.
Just
weird.
don't watch it. That's that easy. And
Weird behavior.
And I think the performance
Oh, man.
of the actress that's kind of up for that people are talking about, I think she plays it well. I think she's exactly the
Yeah,
heel
it's
that
written
the
weird.
show
It's not
needs.
her fault that it's written weird.
It's written strangely, but I also
Yeah.
think that, like, I don't know. I think we forget sometimes what Star Wars is, and I think sometimes we try
Yeah.
to put it into categories that it doesn't belong in. Star Wars is its own thing, and it's always been
Yeah,
that.
it's not. It's not an right. It's
Listen to the
it's a
dialogue
space
from A New
opera.
Hope.
It's
The
not
dialogue from A New
It's
Hope
not
is
high drama.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the way they talk is absurd.
Yeah.
Like, no one talks like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. People try to just put it in these categories that it doesn't belong in, and it bothers me because I'm just like, I don't know. I get it that sometimes the writing is not what it would be in maybe a different movie, or if you were trying to be like more subversive or something like that. But Star Wars has never been like, we're hiding these themes that you need. Like, it's always been like,
Right. Exactly. They embrace
yeah,
it. Right.
like, this is in your
Yeah.
face.
I don't know. I don't get that either. It's really Yeah. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, but
It's weird behavior.
yeah, but like I said, I think the one thing that I'm loving the most about this show is that it's 100%, and I said this last episode, that this show is for us. It's for the kids who grew up on Jar Jar and grew up on, the prequels. It's I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I don't know. I feel like the link that's taking us to the Obi Wan that we know from A New Hope is like Ewan McGregor is nailing it. Like you can see the shades of post, of Clone War era Obi Wan, and like the Obi Wan that's from A New Hope. Like, you can see how these two guys are meeting at this one point, you know. But I think it's just
Yeah.
Ewan's
Yeah. He's killing it.
performance. Or yeah, what do you guys think? Is it his performance, or is it just, I don't know, the writing? I think he's just crushing it. I think he's always crushed it as Obi-Wan, obviously.
I think it's both because, he's executive producer too. But I really think that, I got to give the show props, because as much as I don't like certain elements of the show's writing, and I'm still a little bit confused, they've written Obi-Wan real surprisingly and well, which I didn't really consider as a possibility. I really, I didn't expect to be surprised by what the direction they took with Obi-Wan, and I have been. And for that to be both surprising and well done is kind of awesome, because Boba Fett was surprising and not so well done. And so it's kind of cool that it's both, because they could have just mailed it in. You know what I'm saying? They could have just made 6 episodes of Vader and Obi-Wan yelling at each other, and we all would have eaten it up, because that's what we've waited years for. So for the fact that they did something unique with it is kind of cool. And the writing for Obi-Wan's part has been really cool to me, I think.
It's been excellent. I've also noticed that he's been getting physically more just expressive, both with the fighting and just even with Leia, he's just opening right out to her. It's just like, why can't I go run off and be blah blah blah?
Yeah.
Because not everybody's awesome like that.
Right.
Not everybody's like you. You can't trust everybody. And then she's like, okay, I'll go to this thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run away immediately. But I mean,
who would have thought we would have had character development in Obi-Wan's character in the show?
Sick.
I really didn't anticipate
I didn't
that.
either.
I really
thought we
would
were
have
gonna
thought
see
that
him.
we would have just had Obi-Wan as we knew. Yeah.
I thought we were just gonna see him, Obi-Wan, just at a different point in time. but it wasn't going to be a
Yeah,
different Obi-Wan.
absolutely. Really, really interesting choice, and I really dig that about the show.
But like I said,
there was
Go ahead, Chris.
no, sorry. There was a point in the initial like action sequence where they got you know shook down by all the stormtroopers. Um, I had to remind myself literally that like, oh yeah, no, Leia and Obi-Wan make it out of this.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
there's a few movies after this.
right.
Obi-Wan's
They're
alive.
both going to live for another 40 years.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be okay. And I had to remind myself. I was like, it was really intense and just really well choreographed for the most part, except for the set design a little bit at that one point. But, everything was just like exciting and
yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait to see like what the heck was going to happen next,
yeah.
even though in a way I kind of knew, but I had to remind myself many times.
Yeah, the fact that you can be on the edge of your seat when you know the outcome really
Right.
shows that it's well written and well. Like the prequels kept you
That's true.
guessing, even though you know everything about everyone who survives. And I think they're underrated in that way, in that they did, they did keep us on the edge of our seats, even though we knew every single outcome. I don't know. It was, other than obviously the characters that were new for the prequels, like Mace and stuff, but we knew that they weren't going to live. So I mean, everything's a foregone conclusion, and yet that it's enjoyable. That it shows good writing, and this is the first thing I've really liked outside of the movies from a writing perspective. Like even The Mandalorian, I don't enjoy the writing particularly. I enjoy the characters and the scenes and stuff, but the writing, like the biggest things for The Mandalorian that has going from an asset perspective are like the set pieces and the cameos. And so for this to be so well written, it doesn't need to be, and it chose to be anyway, and that's really cool to me. They could have just mailed it in. It could have been the most boring show ever, and we would have lapped it up. And instead, we get actual stuff.
And I was legitimately worried after the Book of Boba Fett. I was like legitimately concerned.
Yeah. Oh, I was too.
Yeah,
we talked about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that show was terrible. It wasn't my favorite. So, it is what it is. But this show has been amazing.
Right, and it ruined. It had potential.
And speaking
for the
of potential,
to be awesome.
That
so for them
right
to
into my
right, unwritten
next
potential.
Note, I keep feeling like the one thing, and this is kind of be the thing we end on, because we're running low on time. But I feel like one of the things that does happen in Star Wars a lot recently, anyway, is like I feel there's a lot of wasted potential in villains. And maybe, I don't know. Okay, so maybe I'm a little wrong about this or off base, but like, so the Grand Inquisitor got killed, which was kind of like.
No.
That was pretty
cool. Disagree.
So
he's for sure not dead.
Okay.
I'm positive.
Return.
So the Grand Inquisitor's not dead. It was just a little, not frustrating, but it was just kind of like, I feel like the weight of it wasn't there. It was the same as when Cad Bane died. I feel like it was kind of missing what you needed to know about Cad Bane to make it like worth it. So like keep him around a little longer, so that way the death actually matters. And then I don't know. I feel like we've been getting kind of like.
But then you can't talk about Tusken.
Yeah. I don't. But as we end this, and this is off topic, and I don't care though, because I need to say this. Dave Filoni, oh, can you hear me? Yeah. So, I know that no one from Star Wars will ever watch this show, but just on the off chance that you do, stop with the Tusken Raiders. I don't care anymore. I'm so.
I like them.
I'm over it.
Man, that was too much.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to know their, like, their customs.
Go for a little Tusken Raider situational comedy. That'll be nice.
I would watch it.
Oh my gosh! Like I
know.
don't need to know their customs and their ways, and they're like, I'm good. I'm all set on the Tusken Raider. Like,
All the different dialects. They started making different noises you never heard before.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
ridiculous.
I was
Come
ready
on.
for one to just start talking. I was ready for
Like, what,
I was
dude?
ready for one to just be like, "What's up, bro?" Like,
take off his mask and it's actually
it's just the guy.
It's Mace Windu.
It's just people.
It's Mace Windu.
Regular people.
I'm
over
it. I like the Tusken Raiders, but it's enough. And I mean, it's kind of how I feel about Leia. Like I liked Leia. I liked that she was part of the show, and I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah,
but like I don't need any more of it. I got what I needed.
But it's
out
like
of it.
a companion in a video game, where after a while, unless the mechanics for that companion are like really, really good, it's like I'm done with this.
All the dialogue's worn out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they just use the same clips over and over. Yeah. I found another baseball card. Yeah.
I gotta go find something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I'm good. I don't want to do
That's
this
a good
anymore.
way to put it.
But that's kind of how I was feeling about it too, where I was like, okay, maybe get her to a safe space and then we finish the story.
Yeah.
And then also,
and now go ahead.
I was just gonna say also, it's like it was one of those classic TV tropes where I'm sitting and watching it and I'm like, how many of these stupid idiots are gonna leave this kid by themselves? Like, why do people do that in shows where it's like, all right, little kid, this is a very dangerous situation, and people are dying around you. You just go here.
You have not shown like, any inkling that you can do this, but go do that thing. Like,
how old are you? Like 5? Got it. Yeah. Trust you, dude. You go ahead.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Oh my god! I was like, why would?
Just like we talked about, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, when? What do you mean? When was this?
And I talked about this. I think Chris, we talked about this the other night. But at what point does it become obvious that he's not just like Obi Wan wouldn't come out of hiding for any kid,
right?
The only thing he would come out of hiding for is a Jedi.
Yes.
So like, or for like Leia specifically.
Yes.
So for Anakin and Vader to not be like, oh, maybe that little girl actually is meaningful, and I should either utilize that to my advantage,
right,
or, you know what I mean? Like that part's weird to me. The fact that she is the bait is maybe the only example of like a loophole in the writing that I can think of right now. And maybe it'll change or they'll explain it better.
Right.
But I did think that it's kind of weird that that Leia is important enough to draw Obi-Wan away from what he's doing, but not so important that Vader needs to care.
Right.
And maybe it'll be revealed at some point, and we'll retcon that Vader realizes that Leia is his daughter. But it just seemed, I don't know. It seems like he would sense it, or like why would he wouldn't just come out of hiding for Bail Organa's daughter.
Right.
And I don't know that it's not obvious to everybody else.
I think that, oh man, that just gave me such a great idea for a theory. I think it would be interesting if, I wish I could remember, the third sister, if she winds up taking Leia, well, she does take Leia, and while she has Leia, she realizes that it's Vader's daughter.
Anakin's daughter?
And then,
I guess,
because of that realization, whatever, because she clearly has like some dirty past compared to all the other Inquisitors. Like she's like, they keep calling her not like a real Inquisitor and not like a whatever. And
yeah, she was probably
I'm wondering if because of that, you know, she'll feel some sort of connection to Leia, and that's how Leia gets to safety. And then, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of turns her.
I do know what you mean.
Towards
that would
light,
be lame.
Whereas, like, because it's clear, like, she's forcing being a dark side user. Like, she's so aggro. Like, she's so, like, let's just kill people. I'll chop your hands off. Like, she's, like, leaning so hard into it.
I guess.
It's almost like she's overselling it. And then
that would make me mad.
Kind of Kylo Ren.
Kylo, like, I'm just like thinking like that'd be an interesting
that would be,
way to figure it out.
that is interesting to think about her realizing that it's his daughter, but I don't know that I would.
Actually had that as a note.
I think I'd be upset.
How would Vader react at this point in time if he realized that Leia? Would he be like, "Oh shit, that's my kid. Everybody back off! Like, I'm gonna protect her," because that's like his tie to Padme.
Yeah, I don't.
And then he just like, or is it like, "Oh,
I
I'm
think
already
he's
so
still
far gone, I don't even care."
I think much 100% serving Palpatine, right? Like he hasn't considered betraying that at all. But I guess when he does betray it is when he realizes that Palpatine lied to him about Padme and Luke and Leia and stuff. So maybe, I don't know. That's interesting. But I don't know how you could do that without ruining Rogue One and A New Hope, Vader.
Yeah, no, there's no way by the end of this that he's gonna know that Leia is his kid. He just can't. There's just no way.
No, I don't think he can.
It would ruin
a
lot of the storyline. So there's no way. But it's just interesting to think, because I think to myself, like,
that is interesting. I didn't think about that.
Like, if it was with Luke, I feel like because it's his son, it's a different relationship, and even once he knows Luke is his son, he's still like not turning. But it's something like, I mean,
with Padme, Padme and Leia and everything. Yeah, you're right. It would be
Padme,
interesting.
I
just think that he couldn't. Yeah, it would be interesting.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, that's actually a good place to end it. So this was a great episode. I loved it. I know that like I had some weird things about it. Okay, so the last weird thing that I had, the very last weird thing, and it's very stupid. So at one point in time, the third sister is talking, and she goes to turn out of the room. And instead of just, like, turning like this and leaving and walking out, she takes the long
She
turn
pivots.
around. So she turns all the way, like, this way. And I just was watching it. It was like, I actually went back, like, 3 times to rewatch the turn. And I was like, that was so awkward.
She's like,
why did she turn out
She's
of
like
the room like
Zoolander.
that?
She doesn't turn left.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was like, why? She could have just turned and it would have been a much quicker route than going all the way around and like scanning the whole room as you leave. I was like, that was a bit odd. But
Did you notice? Did you notice in the room in the underwater base? Oh, also that underwater base was pretty cool. But did you notice in the along the wall they had a shelf where they had a bunch of lightsabers and youngling helmets from Order 66?
What?
No, I have to rewatch that. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
That's spooky. That's spooky.
It's pretty crazy.
That's crazy. And then, tiny shout out to Quinlan Voss being. I think I said that earlier, but Quinlan Voss got a shout out.
Yeah, he's gonna show up. I like somebody's got to show up to help Obi Wan rescue Leia.
Yeah. Oh, Quinlan Voss.
And I could see it being Quinlan Voss. Read
the book cool. Dark Disciple. Quinlan Voss is one of the main characters in it, and it's
awesome.
Such a good book. It has Asajj Ventress, Count Dooku, Obi Wan, Anakin, Mace, Yoda's in it. It's like a gang of characters that you want to read about. Also, the only other thing I was thinking about this when we were in this episode is, do you think we might see Yoda again, Chris? Before we go, do you think he might make?
I was thinking that too.
No. He doesn't have a ship, right? Does he?
He has Luke.
Maybe he goes to Dagobah.
Oh, maybe they do go to Dagobah. That'd be awesome. Oh.
That would be crazy. That would be awesome. I was thinking that too, though. Not Yoda specifically, but just what cameos could show up, and Yoda crossed my mind.
Yoda's one. I thought if you're ever gonna bring Mace back, now's the time. Like, this is it. Like, it's pretty much the only
I don't think they're going to for this, but that would be cool.
Yeah. That'd be too much. What up, mother?
I thought it was really cool that they showed Hayden Christensen for a split second on that hill. Yeah. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that was crazy.
There was something else that I was going to mention. Yeah. Oh, and like the Vader castle being in the episode at all was badass.
That was awesome.
That was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. And Vader, like, murking people was awesome. The fact, like, when he was choking out the dad and he snapped his kid's neck, I was like, holy cow. This is the Vader that we've been waiting for, and that we, like I said, we saw a glimpse of it in Rogue One.
Yeah.
That was so cool to see his power like that and his ruthlessness and like dragging people through the street without even like breaking stride. I just got super Mike Myers vibes when he or Michael Myers, not Mike Myers, but Michael Myers vibes
Vader,
when he,
baby.
like turns his head and looks when when he like looks right at where Obi Wan was just hiding. I was like, okay, if this had John Carpenter piano music, we'd be watching Halloween right now.
So nice. It was awesome. It was so great seeing him go off like that.
He was so cool.
Yeah, I think, but it's the Vader that like we deserve at this point. Because he's just
delicious.
The man. Yo, also other last cameo, and this really is it, and then we'll close the episode. Palpatine.
Zach Braff.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be cool.
I think we might
or
see
Tarkin.
Palpatine. That would because Ian McDermott was at the Star Wars celebration.
Star Wars celebration.
So I think it would be plausible.
Yeah. Palpatine or Tarkin would be awesome.
Damn.
Tarkin. Oh, I love Tarkin. That'd be so great. I didn't even think about that. That didn't even cross my mind that we might see Tarkin. So now I'm like,
Tarkin actually makes a lot of sense.
But it'd be the CGI Tarkin, which I know some people are bummed about. But I'd love it. I'd take him in any way. I love Tarkin so much, especially seeing him and.
I don't know. It could be just a young CGI Tarkin in Revenge of the Sith, though.
Yeah. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Either way, all these sound great. I'll take any of them. But anyway, guys, theme music before we go. Okay. All right, I'm Chaz, joined by Adam and Chris. Thank you guys. We are this is Talking Sith. We're trying to do Sundays, drop episodes. You can find us on Instagram at Talking Sith, and please join the conversation.
Check it out.
All right, guys. Have a good week. We'll see you soon.
Moshi.